If you watch enough television, you might get the idea the best way to sell pizza is by the price, not the slice. The world of pizza today is awash in a myriad of price-off offers. So how does a smaller player not only survive, but actually flourish with its margins intact? Enter Zorbaz Pizza, a 13-year, one-store pizza shop location on a nice lake in Detroit Lakes, Minnesota, that is now up to 11 locations and still growing. So grab a slice of this success story.
And 60 seconds. Best recorders, high speed. Check all batteries.
While the rest of the world was staring up at the moon and listening to the crackly voice of Neil Armstrong taking his first giant leap for mankind, one pizza entrepreneur was looking into ways to land intact in an old converted candy store in Detroit Lakes, Minnesota. The year was 1969, when the first Zorbaz opened its doors. After 13 years of operation in one store, and that store only being open in the summer months, owner Tom Hansen had the itch to expand. Over the next few years, more locations were added. For years, he managed not only the business, but also its marketing efforts. But, like any growing concern, the larger the organization becomes, the less time any one person has for any given task. Enter H2M. H2M began the ad agency shuffle and huddled up, dug in, reached out in an effort of learning the pizza business inside out, and more importantly, how the Zorbaz brand was positioned against strong, highly advertised national competitors. We analyzed where and how it was spending its media dollars. We looked at the lifestyles and mindsets of Zorbaz customers. We traveled to all the locations. We ate lots of pizza, and we drank lots of beer. And after much study, reflection, observation, and a few pounds gained, we garnered some insights about the Zorbaz brand that would serve as a basis for a communication strategy moving forward. We learned Zorbaz outdoor billboard work was staying up year-round. We noticed they were faded and falling apart on boards that were unsold. We learned that originally Zorbaz in Detroit Lakes was only open seasonally. However, the Detroit Lakes store had been open year-round for 10 years. To the public, the meta message was, "It's winter. Zorbaz is closed for this season." So we strategized the outdoor media buy before we began to work on the messaging. We restructured the billboards to be replaced with season-appropriate messaging 4 times per year, a strategy unheard of in the region at this point in time. The next phase of planning naturally led to the question, what is the messaging content and tone? And for that, we went to Tom's advertising archives and took the cues from there. Zorbaz has always had an air of irreverence to its communications. The humor was fine, but all the materials looked and felt different in tone and color. This served the early days of Zorbaz, but it's not an efficient approach to growing a chain with, at that time, 9 locations. Another insight the H2M team garnered was that the hardcore users of Zorbaz consider the location they patronize to be their personal Zorbaz. This feeling was found throughout the chain. Architecturally, Zorbaz is the anti-franchise of pizza brands, with every location found, not built, and each location vastly different from the outside to the others. The one common thread was every Zorbaz was on a popular Minnesota lake. It was decided very early on that Zorbaz should retain each location's unique personality and never become a homogenized chain such as Applebee's. H2M began its work creating a wide selection of tones, looks, and verbal approaches to the brand. Reaching for the very limits of irreverence and non-political correctness, one billboard seemed to perfectly capture the attitude, tone, and also the historical reference of the year Zorbaz was founded, 1969. With some trepidation and great courage, That billboard hit the streets and almost overnight became a magnet for water cooler comments, laughs, and positioning for the company, whose fans of the brand had lived through the heady days of the hippie 60s and early 70s. This original hippie board was so popular, it was determined it needed to be reprised. It led to what is currently a 4-year refreshment of the original concept. In all, Zorbaz began running over 15 billboards in carefully selected locations and changing them out for new messaging 4 times a year. The net result was people began anticipating when the messaging would change again. H2M also created several television commercials that ran in selected cable markets across Minnesota, including the Minneapolis-St. Paul metro area.
You've got mail.
Zorbaz at the lake. Please, eat responsibly.
You could win a beach and car this summer. Register at any of our 9 locations in Lakes Country.
Zorbaz on the lake. Please, eat responsibly. With up to 48 draft beers on tap, it's time to start the party. Zorbaz on the lake. Please, eat responsibly.
Remember, never ever leave a slice of Zorbaz pizza alone. They have feelings too.
Zorbaz on the lake. Please, eat responsibly.
From that strategic beginning, H2M began creating the entire 360-degree brand wrapper, from the unique menu design to the matchbooks at the bar and beyond. As for social media, H2M developed a unique Facebook page for each location, maintaining the personality of each venue. Foursquare was added. Twitter relayed messaging as well. Instagram was added in late 2012. Zorbaz growth sits currently at 11 locations and counting. More importantly, it remains an island of solid margin, a pizza chain not dependent on discounting its product thanks to strong brand stewardship. Oh, sales-wise, you ask? How does double-digit increases yearly sound? That's right, double-digit. H2M and Zorbaz. This is the best pizza combination ever invented. Please, eat responsibly.